Grammy, how many grandkids do you have?
Grandkids, 16.
16.
Alex is your youngest grandchild.
Alex, what?
Is your youngest grandchild? And how many great-grandchildren do you have?
It's either 6, I think.
Well, it would be
Amy's 2.
Bryant, Jacob, Cindy.
And Cindy's 3 boys.
No, those are great-great.
They're the great. Yeah.
No, they're the great-great.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, don't get. When did Grampy join the army? 40. See, we were.
One more payment and it's mine.
Well, John was 3 years old.
John was 3, so how...
John was 2 years old when
2.
he went into the army.
So what year was John born?
Was John born in 1945?
And before that, 44, I would say.
John was born in 44. So the war was over in 45.
43 or 44, he went into the army.
Oh, John had to be born before that then.
Yeah, so he had a...
Because
was John born before Pearl Harbor?
41.
Yes, 41.
And I think it was 43 or 44 when Grampy went into the service. Because John, I think, was 3 years old. At least he was 3 years old while we lived in Texas.
When did you live in Texas?
When he was in the army.
Fort Sam.
For a year and a half, we lived in Texas.
Where did he go after training?
Oh, he came back to his job here in Albion.
So he just went into the army and was a trainer. He never went overseas?
No. We didn't. We expected him to go every 2 or 3 weeks. But we found out after it was all over with that he never would have gone because he had 2 brothers that were already in the service overseas, and they wouldn't take the 3rd one because it was the Sullivan boys that were killed. And we didn't know that. They never would have taken him. But every 3 or 4 weeks, we thought he might be going overseas. But he didn't. Tyler, Texas is where we live.
Did he already work at Union Steel before the army?
Until he retired, he worked at Union Steel.
Did he work at Union Steel before he went into the army?
Huh?
Did he work there before going into the army?
Before he went, and he came right back to the same job.
Same job.
Galvanizer.
And he stayed in the same job until he retired.
But they don't. They went out of business before.
Oh,
too
right.
long after Grampy retired.
Right, I remember. Where was Grammy born?
Grammy was born in Detroit. Her dad was a Detroit city cop. I've got the little booklet, with his little handwriting in there. Because that's what, they would get briefed on who they were supposed to be looking for through the day. And that's the only way they knew what to do. And then there'd be entries where they'd go and check a store, and the door would be unlocked or something, and there'd be an entry in there. I just thought it was so funny. Be on the lookout for a gray horse pulling a milk wagon. Where were your mom and dad born?
Well, I don't know. They met and married in Addison, Michigan, but they were born in this country. They weren't born overseas at all. But I don't know where they were born. Oh, probably Dad was born in Marshall.
You think so?
That was the home.
Why were you born in Detroit?
Because he was on the police force in Detroit. And I don't know, but I believe he got in trouble.
How's that?
And that's when he moved to Marshall to the family home.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I've never found out, but I believe so. It's just he never worked after we moved to Marshall until he got the job, well, at a used car place here in Elgin. And then they moved to,
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
then they moved to Battle Creek, and that's where they were when they both died.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when they moved to Marshall?
I was raised in Marshall. I don't remember moving from Detroit to Marshall, and but they. Until I got married, I lived in Marshall from probably 3
Okay.
to 21.
How many brothers and sisters did you have?
One brother.
Just one brother? That's all?
That's all.
That's a small family.
Hmm?
That's a small family for the
Yeah,
times. Sorry.
Where did you go to school?
Marshall. I graduated from Marshall High School.
Did you ever work outside of your home?
Yeah, I worked in a dry goods store for 4 years. Then I worked at Eaton's until we got married. Eaton's in Battle Creek.
What was Eaton's?
Axle and brake.
Was it a factory?
Huh?
Was it a factory?
Uh-huh.
What did you do? What did you do there?
I put the nose piece in bombs.
Oh.
Okay. There you go.
Didn't know that.
Hmm?
I didn't know you made bombs.
Oh, didn't you?
No.
That was down here. That was here in Albion. I made bombs. I worked at Dad's shop.
I thought you said that was at Eaton's.
Oh, golly, I don't remember what I did do at Eaton's. The bombs were down here
At Union Steel?
Union Steel. Uh-huh.
That's scary, Mom.
I know it.
And then she worked at J.C. Penney's when I was a teenager.
Huh?
You worked at J.C. Penney's store
Yes,
when I
worked
was a
at Penny's.
teenager.
4 years, I think, just a few hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
When you were almost grown up.
When Joanne and I were teenagers, yeah.
I think I was working there when you got married.
Yeah, you might have, yeah.
House.
How long have we lived in this house? Since 40.
They were married in 1939. They rented an apartment on
Just for a little
Superior.
while across the road while we worked on this
well,
house.
but you lived in that one
Yeah,
over there
but
on
only
Michigan
about
Ave.
2 or 3 months.
Her parents came to visit them and made a comment about this house and how bad it looked on the outside, but it had the prettiest curtains in the window. And they didn't know that Grammy and Grampy had bought the house and were working on it, So they said something derogatory about the way the house looked, but the curtains were pretty,